I do complain in my videos a lot, right? And I've had a couple people come at me and be like, sounds like this isn't the build for you. You know what I mean? If you hate it so much, why don't you quit? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you ask like literally any sex worker, like that little comment right there, everybody's gotten. And it's just, I mean, I think it speaks more to how obsessed everybody, like society collectively is with the idea that we as sex workers have to be miserable. Like, they could not conceptualize that we're not miserable. And even when we're complaining about our jobs, like, that's our right to complain. Like, it's not miserable. And if you think that I'm coming off in a way that's like, oh, I hate my job and I hate every single person I meet, that's just simply not true. And I'm just going to give a breakdown to you today about why I actually do love sex work. So I just got out of a 5-year relationship and with a guy that was he had a pretty good, like on paper, it was a pretty good job. I mean, was he the CEO of a company? Was he making millions? No. But he did work for a bank, and it was a, remote work job. He just stayed at home all day. And during the pandemic, when we had first, actually started and moved in together, he was like, oh yeah, you should apply and get a job at the bank and blah, 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 because he had a training position. And I'm like, okay, what's up with that? So I'm like, yeah, let me get on the splitter with you, like the headphone splitter with you, and let me see, what you do throughout the day. And let me tell you that I lasted about like less than an hour. With the amount of disrespect that he had to put up with, I literally like told him, I was like, you do you, but I actually feel a little bit less degraded sucking dick for money. And that right there made me realize that I actually love sex work, because when somebody is treating me like that and degrading me, I actually 1000% can tell you to go fuck yourself. And it's a part of the job that I literally cherish. I mean, it wouldn't make good business sense for me to just be like mean as shit like all the time, but I have that right. And I technically own a business in myself with the state of Nevada, so I am actually my own boss, and I don't have to put up with anything I don't want to, which is not something that a lot of people can say in their day-to-day workday. I listened to my ex get cussed out all the time, and it was a rule that they couldn't hang up the phone. So it's like he would just have to sit there and listen to all that verbal abuse from these people, and you just be like, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes ma'am, no ma'am, because it's like a corporate job, and like I was flabbergasted. I'm like, is this what a good job looks like? Is this what like a good office job is supposed to be? Nah. I don't want a real job. Ew. And while, yes, I am aware that you can't just be a hoe forever, well, actually, you actually can be a hoe forever if you so choose to be, because men love older women, and I've seen a lot of very successful older women, throughout like the years of working and just meeting a lot of people. But side note, I do actually want to go to school within like the next couple of years. So it's like, if there's any point that I do feel like I actually really, really hate sex work, that I have that option of quitting and getting a job with like a comparable income. Me and my ex, we broke up around, I think it was like at some point in August. Well, anyways, we actually had a trip to Hawaii planned together. We were supposed to be going to like Maui, and we had been talking about it back and forth, and I was, tracking the prices for the flights, the rooms, and everything, and I figured out that the very first week of September would be, the week really that we could get the best deal. So I went ahead and I bought our tickets. I booked our Airbnb, and I, called him in the morning, and I was like, I have the entire vacation booked. I got a great price on it. And he was like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. I have to put in a PTO request. And don't you know that we were on the edge of our seats waiting to see if we were going to be able to go to Hawaii together, when he already has, he would never take time off. So it's like he had all of these, weeks of PTO, and and we had to sit there after spending thousands of dollars on a Hawaii trip and pray to God that they would, that the banking gods would smile down upon us and let him have the fucking time off that he was promised. And yeah, he did eventually get it, but we didn't go together because we broke up. Not the point here. there's a lot of jobs out there that are like real jobs, and people don't have the time to take off. People are working while they're sick. People are working through tragedies in their lives. People are, I mean, just like my ex, he had weeks of PTO and was afraid to ask to access it. So just those two little aspects of that I've, seen, pretty up close of a corporate job. It just actually sounds really exploitative, and it sounds like, like literally like that you're like a slave to your job, and that you really don't have much say for the way that your life goes. So another thing that like just irritates me is that like, everybody, just because it's sex, everybody's so fucking puritanical, just because sex work involves a sexual aspect. The second that you complain about anything, everybody is right there just rearing to go to say that you are being trafficked or exploited or this or that. And it's like, that's why a lot of sex workers do not, speak up and say, when they are being treated unfairly. That's why you got all these girls on Twitter calling their customers their suitors and their lovers and this and that. And it's like, while I do understand the marketing angle, of that, that's not for me, because I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, everything is good and great. If I have a platform to sit there and be like, hey, this is what I'm not going to do. And the people that are like, hey, yeah, that sounds reasonable, I'd rather just have those people find me than try to appease to every idiot. Because trust me, there's a lot of idiots. And I'm not, in no way that the idiots don't make up really even a fraction of my customer base. Why? Because I will say something and I will complain. And I'm not going to sit there and suck your ass and pretend to be okay with something that I'm not okay with just to get your money. I'd rather just not have it, actually. Because I'm trying to provide my clients with like a pleasant experience, I really don't want to see the people that are idiots anyways, because it's just going to be, an argument for you to act right the entire time. So, yeah. And, the customers that, are, normal human beings and are okay with the way that I am, those are actually the people that end up being my customers. And I'm completely fine with that, because, they're not bad people in any way, shape, or form. It's not all negative, but I would rather just, the negativity not even show up, because I called it out in the first place. Thank you. Bye.